Hey guys, hope you guys are all doing well and welcome to my hotel room here in Venice, Italy. And this is actually the ending point of my trip as I just spent 10 days on the road. I actually did this pretty big loop from Venice and back, so I went into the Dolomite area for a few nights. I then took the scenic route to Lake Como, which I shot around that area for a little bit, including a day trip into Switzerland. And I shot majority of the trip on my Fujifilm XT5 with only one lens, that being the 18 to 55mm kit lens. Now I say majority as some of these images I had to shoot on my Sony a7 IV due to the fact of just having a few problems with my XT5 that I'll be addressing later in the video. And I'm not really a landscape photographer by any means, but I just wanted to use this trip as an opportunity to step outside of my comfort zone and just try something new, but also bring along my photography style to get more of a creative or just different perspective of these very popular photography spots. So my main goal was to hit the back roads or just take the scenic route, and this is what I captured. If you guys have seen my photography and my videos, you'll know that I'm not really a landscape photographer. I'm more of a portrait and lifestyle photographer. And I just find that landscape images without a clear subject, in my opinion, can just be a little bit dull. So you'll see that all of these images that I've shot and decided to show you guys, I always try to include some type of subject or human element, whether that's a building or a road. And before this trip, I found a really interesting image on Instagram by a German film photographer called Alex. Go check out his work on Instagram. His handle is @oakwoodfilm. I did have a fair idea where this photo was taken, and just while driving down a random hill, I spotted the composition. When I pulled up, it was pretty much midday and the sun was quite high in the sky, and I just assumed that later in the day you'd get a very nice golden side light hitting the road, the mountain, and these cable cars. And guys, I used to think that recreating a composition or an image from a popular photographer or photo spot is very cliche and I just shouldn't participate in it because I'm better than that. But I recently found it's actually quite fun to do, as you really do have to study on what time of day to shoot, where the light is coming from, what focal length to use, etc, etc. And it just really does train your eye to learn unique and original compositions of your own. And I really do like the layers in this image. Even though it is quite busy, the three subjects do have a lot of space, and I just think it's a very well balanced image. This was actually my last night here, and I just spent about half an hour trying to line up the different elements, and then the next morning I decided to take the scenic route to Lake Como. Now, during my time in Lake Como, this is where my XT5 started to have more regular issues. I was having a few issues in the Dolomites, but this is where basically it just became unusable to use the XT5. So basically I could get a few shots in and then I would start hearing this buzzing noise from the lens and also the camera, and then follow up by a warning saying, please turn the camera off. And I would take the battery out for a little bit and then it would fix it. I'd get a couple more shots in and then all of a sudden the camera would shut off again. And I'm just not sure if I may have damaged the camera, I may have damaged the lens, or if it was just too hot for the XT5 and it was just overheating in the European summer weather. I tried changing lenses to the 75mm f1.2 that Viltrox sent me, but that seemed to make the issue worse as the whole menu was grayed out and I was getting a very interesting vignetted image coming from this lens, so I think it is more of a camera issue. So I did actually line up a few portrait shoots in Lake Como and I just opted to use my work camera, the Sony a7 IV with the Tamron 28-75 for these images. And I'm actually lucky enough to be here in Europe for a wedding, so I did actually have to travel with 2 Sony bodies and a variety of lenses. But this would be very unfortunate if the XT5 was your only camera on a trip like this and you really didn't have a backup. I'm not going to share too many of these portrait images as next week I'm making a full video on that, so subscribe to see more. And guys, if you like the way that I edit my photos, I do sell Lightroom presets. So if you want to emulate this pastel film look in the description down below and pick up a pack for yourself. So before heading back to Venice to drop off the rental car, I decided to do a day trip into Switzerland. And at this point, I was just very content with the images that I've taken in the previous day. So my goal of this day was really just to enjoy the experience rather than just focusing on photography. Now, I did actually head to a popular photography spot in the morning purely for the fact that it was actually a good route to take for a day trip. So I hope you enjoyed that video and me kind of trying to document my way of getting outside of my comfort zone to try a different type of photography that I always encourage. And if you like the way that I edit my photos, go check out my film Lightroom preset. All right, guys, I'm actually off to Croatia now, so I'm going to go pack my bags. I'm going to go enjoy my day, enjoy my travel. Hope you guys have a good week and we'll see you next week. Bye.